One of the big issues in the 2024 election is immigration. And I'm telling you right now, some events took place in the last 2 days that could turn the tide of this election. Something huge just happened. Kamala Harris did a live town hall on Univision. Univision is a Spanish language TV broadcasting company that is huge. It is the largest provider of Spanish language content. I saw a clip that just impressed me so much because here's one of the things that we forget about in this whole immigration thing. Donald Trump is out there talking about poisoning the blood and bad genes and calling immigrants killers and all this. But the fact of the matter is immigrants that are coming to America, they're fucking human beings, guys. They're people that for whatever reason, wherever they're coming from, whether it's South America or Haiti or, Central America or whatever, Africa, things got so bad in their home country, they decided to cross the globe, often with very little money, taking a huge chance to cross vast swaths of arid land, like crossing from Central America all the way to the U.S. border to try and seek asylum or to try and come to this country and become part of this country to have a better life. Real people that just want a better life for themselves. They're not criminals. I know that Republicans like to use that term illegal alien, but they're not aliens. They're fucking human beings. And they're not illegal. Sure, there are legal methods of entry. So technically somebody might come and break the law trying to get here to avoid the 10-year citizen process or whatever. But that doesn't mean the person is illegal. The person is still a human being that is seeking a better life. And regardless of what happens, we should be looking at this immigration problem with a sense of compassion and a sense of caring for the people and what they've been through that brings them to our country. When you think about it, think about for us to go seek haven in another country, it would have to be pretty fucking bad here, right? So obviously these people are coming from places that are pretty bad, and we could hold that in our heart. And that's really powerful stuff because we do have to remember that those Haitian immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, these immigrants that are crossing the border, the undocumented workers that are working on farms and in meatpacking plants and in food processing factories, they're human beings, guys. They're just like us. They're just wanting a better life. And they deserve to be treated with a sense of respect and human dignity and not treated like they're some sort of chattel that you can laugh at and spit on and cage up and just throw them on a bus and drive it off a fucking cliff somewhere because of some fucking fat ass bronzer wearing, sexual abusing, felonious fucking piece of shit has decided to take all these human beings and dehumanize them so he can try to win an election and make all his criminal cases disappear. Let's stop dehumanizing immigrants. They're fucking human beings, bro. And so her having a chance to do this town hall and to speak to the Hispanic population in America is, I think, really powerful, really amazing. Now, at that Univision town hall, there was a moment that may have just won the election for Kamala Harris. We're going to get to that in just a second. But first, we have to put into perspective how crazy Trump's rhetoric has gotten. We all know he's taken a hard line, demonization of immigrants, making up lies about Haitian immigrants. But in the last couple of days, his rhetoric has gotten more and more unhinged. Now he's talking about America being under occupation. He's making references to us having lost our sovereignty. I mean, he is really going off the hook. This is, of course, juxtaposed with his lies about migrant crime epidemics, when in fact he could only show a handful of examples of crime, even in the last 2 years, that had anything to do with undocumented people. And things really started going downhill for him with this incredibly unhinged tweet. I feel like we got to start with this shit. Dude, this is truly wild. Dude, Tell me this is not scary. Trump had his rally in Aurora. Aurora is another one of these towns that has been used as a buzzword for part of his anti-immigration. But this, dude, this right here, dude, look at this shit. This was Trump's tweet today, and it says, "We will send elite squads of ICE, Border Patrol, and federal law enforcement officers to hunt down, arrest, and deport every last illegal alien gang member until there is not a single one left. If they come back, it's an automatic 10 years in jail with no possibility of parole, and I am hereby calling for the death penalty for any migrant that kills an American citizen or a law enforcement officer. We will close the border. We will stop the invasion of illegals into our country. We will defend our territory. We will not be conquered." What the is he talking about, bro? "We will reclaim our sovereignty." I mean, dude, Donnie, I know you like shit your shorts and all, but reclaim our sovereignty? We haven't lost our fucking sovereignty. Fucking moron. "And Colorado will vote for Trump as a protest and signal to the world that we are not going to take it anymore. I will liberate Colorado," he says. "I will give you back your freedom and your life." Now, Colorado is quite free, guys. We have family, friends there. Jenny's from Colorado. Dude, Colorado is quite free. That state is doing quite well, actually. What is he talking about? The police can't solve your run-of-the-mill crimes. Somebody steals your car, they're not going to find it. Somebody burglarizes your house, they're never going to find it. So if you have elite squads hunting down illegal alien gang members, like, what does that look like? That means every time they see somebody who's Hispanic that has some tattoos or whatever, they're going to force them to prove they're citizens. I challenge any of you stupid ass border squawking people, go cross the border into Mexico and then with no ID, try to get back into America and tell me how it fucking works out for you. Because it don't, bro. See, again, though, like for them to look at this and not see the harm of like elite squads hunting Mexicans. Elite squads of ICE, Border Patrol, and federal law enforcement hunting down every Mexican and South American-looking individual they can that they suspect might be an illegal gang member. How is that going to look? How is that going to work? Hunting down people like Jesus, dude. And this whole shit, though, there's not an invasion of illegals. We're not being attacked, and we have not lost our sovereignty. But, dude, this is crazy. This shit is crazy right here. This is 1930s Germany, man. And here's where Kamala Harris comes in. And in one moment, she just shatters the entire Trump narrative on immigration. Let's watch the clip. This one, I think, is going to hit us in the feels, bro, because this is going to put the Trumpian immigration, you know, his Hitler immigration screeds into perspective when you realize that these immigrants are real human beings. You know what I'm saying? They're people.
Nuestra siguiente pregunta es Yvette Castillo de Las Vegas. She wants to share a personal story, Madam Vice President.
Hi. Buenas noches, Vicepresidenta.
Good evening,
Harris.
Madam Vice
Usted
President
y yo
Harris.
tenemos algo en común. You and I have something in common. We both lost our mother.
Oh.
And I'm an American citizen, born to two Mexican parents. They were here before I was even born. They've worked their whole lives. But with the way immigration laws change over time, I was only able to help my dad get his legal status squared away, but not my mom's. My mom passed away just 6 weeks ago.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And she was never, ever able to get the type of care and service that she needed or deserved. Sorry.
Take your time. Take your time.
So my question for you is, what are your plans, or do you have plans to support that subgroup of immigrants who have been here their whole lives, or most of them, and have to live and die in the shadows.
I'm so sorry for you.
Thank you.
You must remember your mother as she lived.
Mm-hmm.
I have enough of a feeling about your strength that it probably comes from her to know she would want you to remember her as she lived and not as she died, okay?
Dude, that's so moving, but think about it. Like, she couldn't get legal status for her mom, so that meant possibly not quality access to health care. Like, her mom in that gray area where she was in America for, you know, how old is this woman? She was born here, so her mom was in America for, 25, 30 years or whatever, and couldn't become a citizen. She couldn't get her over the hump. So, maybe she's dying at home because she doesn't have access to health care because, unfortunately, unlike what Republicans try to tell you, undocumented people don't just have this platinum health plan and shit. It's all a lie. But she probably watched her mom die knowing that if she was a citizen, maybe she would have had more time. But one of the things I'd like to point out is how Kamala Harris was like connected emotionally. She feels it. You know what I'm saying? She feels it. But again, these are human beings, man.
So let's take it one step at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Your parents were here for years, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
And your father was able to earn his pathway to citizenship, but your mother was not.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to assume it's because part of the problem is that we do have a broken immigration system,
mm-hmm.
including
Dude, it's crazy becoming a
being the
citizen.
case that even though when we were elected
So stupid.
in 2020, and the first bill we offered Congress, before we did the bipartisan infrastructure bill, before we did the work on gun safety, before we did the work on investing in chips and science, the first bill we offered within hours of taking the oath was a bill to fix the immigration system, including creating a comprehensive, earned pathway to citizenship for hardworking people. And it was not taken up. And now we look at a situation.
Dude, if you work in America for, for 10 years, you should automatically be a citizen.
Where people are
It's a real
suffering.
deal.
The reality is that in terms of having access to health care, had your mother been able to gain citizenship, she would have been entitled to health care that may have alleviated her suffering and yours. And this is one example of the fact that there are real people
She's
who are
40.
suffering because of an inability to put.
Her mom was here for 40 years and couldn't become a citizen, bro. Like, what the is that? Think about that. She was born, she's 40 years old, born to Mexican parents. Her mom lived in America, worked in America for 40 years and still couldn't become a citizen. Like, dude, that's so stupid. Like, my God, bro, that's so dumb.
Solutions in front of politics. I mean, an example of this on immigration policy is that as it relates to what we need to do to strengthen our border. A bipartisan group of members of Congress, including one of the most conservative members of the United States Senate, came together with one of the strongest border security bills we've had in decades. And it included 1,500 more border agents to go to the border to help those hardworking folks who are working around the clock. The border agents supported the bill. It included more resources to stem the flow of fentanyl, which is killing people of every background in every region of our country. It would have allowed us to have more resources to take on transnational criminal organizations. I have prosecuted transnational criminal organizations, from the Guadalajara cartel to the Sinaloa cartel. And Donald Trump found out about that bill, realized it would be a solution, and told them not to put it on the floor for a vote because he would prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. Real leadership is about solving problems on behalf of the people. And I'm so sorry for what you've been through. I'm so sorry for what you've been through. And, my mother came to the United States at the age of 19. She was by herself. came alone by herself. She raised my sister and me, Maya. And I know what it is like to have a hardworking mother who loves you and to lose that. But I know that her spirit is alive.
I can't believe
her
that
spirit is alive.
her mom was in America for 40 years and couldn't become a citizen.
Sorry, Maria Dolores Figueroa.
Maria Dolores? Okay, we speak her name, okay?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Muchas gracias, Yvette. Thank you so much, Madam
Dude,
Vice President.
I'm getting a little misty from that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I got a little misty. I missed up on these things. I get a little teary-eyed. And the reason being is because I feel like it's time that we have some leaders at the highest level of power in America that actually have enough compassion and caring to, like, feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kamala Harris genuinely heard that woman and connected with her pain, acknowledged her mother. And, you know, it's like, we need some leaders that can connect and have actual feelings. You can't solve immigration if you can't connect to the feelings of the people that are immigrating here. It's a problem that requires compassion. Compassion for the people trying to cross the border. Compassion for the Border Patrol guys that are doing the best they can to find the fentanyl, to stem the flow of people that are coming in, you know, not through the normal channels. You have to have compassion for the people that are adjusting their neighborhoods as new demographics move in and out of cities and towns. We need fucking compassion, bro. These are human beings. Donald Trump would have looked at that woman's mom, the 40-year woman here, whatever, and he's like, I want to deport her. He's like, I don't care how long they've been here. We're deporting them all. Dude, that's fucking bullshit. That's not going to solve anything. Looking at people who want to be citizens as the enemy and then actively trying to harm them or demonize them, that's not going to solve anything. It's not going to stop them from showing up. And even if they have like some crazy jail sentence, obviously their life sucked or they wouldn't have trekked 1,000 miles in the dust and the fucking barren lands to fucking get here. They're not coming here because they broke a fucking fingernail at the fucking circus. They're coming here because their lives are so bad there that they're willing to risk their life and limb to try and get here and start a family here or bring their family here. So this idea of like making it difficult for them, it's like they don't give a shit. It's obviously difficult for them. Let's show a little compassion, a little human dignity for them and try to help them. In general, we could just try to help human beings.
An army of illegal alien gang members and migrant criminals from the dungeons of the third world. They come from the dungeons, think of that, the dungeons of the third world, from prisons and jails, insane asylums and mental institutions. And she has had them resettled beautifully into your community to prey upon innocent American citizens. That's what they're doing.
What is that, bro? That's his whole campaign. His whole campaign is my opponent is invading you with murderers from the dungeons of the third world that are preying upon American citizens. But, dude, that's not happening. That shit is fucking crazy, bro. Unfucking real, boss. Oh, my God. End the occupation, it says. The occupation. No fucking way, bro. Oh, Lord, dude. The occupation.
But to everyone here in Colorado and all across our
Jesus.
nation, I make this pledge and vow to you, November 5th, 2024, will be Liberation Day in America. It will be Liberation Day.
The tactics employed by him and employed by, you know, right-wing media. They do use the buzzwords of illegal, you know, rapists, demons, satanic, and then they'd start associating things. It's interesting because you would think with Donald Trump saying we're going to, you know, deport 11 million undocumented people, you would think that nobody who is Hispanic would vote for that dumbass, right? Why would they want to subject themselves to being harassed and having to prove their citizenship or whatnot. And many of them won't. But there are some, though, that have gone and become citizens and they've jumped through all the hoops for like 10 years. And so the Republicans kind of play on this idea of like people are taking advantage. You became a citizen the right way, and these people are threatening all of your stuff because they're undercutting your path to citizenship. And so I think a lot of them, the people that do vote for Trump, they get played on that type of emotion of saying that, oh, these undocumented people are going to take what you built. I grew up in LA, which was like 60% Hispanic, man. There's more Hispanic people in LA than there are white people, bro. It's like a huge part of the LA culture. And I grew up around that. And the thing about it is if you have this crazy deportation thing going on, it's going to affect all Hispanics. Every time a Hispanic family has guests with suitcases, your MAGA neighbors could be like dialing up ICE and having a raid on your house to make sure that, somebody brought suitcases. I think they're harboring illegals. There's no reason Hispanic people should be looked at with suspicion as potentially being illegal all the time. That would be horrible, dude. Horrible for America. So as you can see, immigration has really come down to this standoff because Donald Trump has taken his rhetoric to such an extreme, trying to pander to his base, trying to make this immigration issue, which he created by refusing to allow legislation to get passed. Because remember, if Trump actually cared about the immigration problem, he would have been pushing for that immigration bill to get passed. But he didn't. He let his rhetoric get more and more extreme, and in turn, that allowed us to see the humanity Kamala Harris was able to bring to this issue. Because at the end of the day, people don't really want endless fear-mongering. People don't want a military strike force roaming the streets, rounding up Hispanic people. People want solutions. People want to know they're going to be taken care of. People want to know that their humanity is actually worth something. At the end of the day, we're all in this together.